I want to thank you as the media because you have come now to get the second part of the story, because last week we were in this assembly where we got one part of a story of a removal in office of the leader of a majority of this county. Today our parliament, our small parliament here, has been able to do a reversal and a reinstatement of office of the leader of a majority following the law. Because what had transpired in the course of last week was just what you call political gymnastics, whereby a pronunciation was made over the maize in the House without any due diligence being followed, without any procedure at all, without even the purported party meetings and issues like that. And the people who are propelling this were hell-bent just to ensure that they can be able to destabilize this assembly. So for today, the leader of majority, which is me, is reinstated officially back, as we also continue to follow the due diligence so that such a mistake cannot actually be repeated again in the future, where people can usurp power and misuse the power of the House to cause confusion and to be able to cause commotion. So we are back in the office, and we continue serving as the leader of majority until when we shall, or when the party shall be able to actually decide otherwise. Otherwise, we thank you, and we're happy to keep on serving the people of Nakuru. So to the people of Great Nakuru, my duty as the leader of a majority is very explicit when you read it in the standing orders. And we would want to continue to carry our oversight role. We continue to do the liaison role between the assembly and even the issues of the executive. And where there are issues, we will be ready to continue ironing just the way we have been ironing. We will not allow disability of this great county just by a few minds who are hell-bent with a lot of external forces that are actually influencing their minds to be able to make decisions that cannot bind, that are not in law, that are against the law, and even against the nature of humanity. So I think we are good to go and ready to continue serving in the office.
Kindly explain the process of the reinstatement.
The process of reinstatement of a leader of a majority, in this case, ideally, of course, we got an injunction, which is a court order, to be able to look at the processes and how it was done. That's why we may not diverge so deeply on what happened or how it went. But of course, we have a court order from the High Court showing that the processes were not actually well followed as supposed to have been.
There is a resistance, people claiming they do not get back in the office. What is your...
The office is not the physical structure, because the power is not given by the physical structure. The power of an office is given by the power of the maize in the assembly. So I think the power of the assembly has made its pronunciation. The issue of maybe our colleagues wanting to entice us so that we can engage in brawls and fights, I think we are honorable members, we are reasonable, and this is a very logical team. Most of the members, because they only had a few members, they had about, we are talking of 30 members. Of course, our assembly has over 74 members. And the office of leader of majority, regardless of how it is actually disseminated, the leader of a majority party is a leader in the House. Is not only a leader of a party, is the leader in the House or in the entire assembly. So it's also good to see and be able to balance, and so that you continue leading the entire House.
Now, what is your plan? Because we have resistance. What is your plan to ensure that the House is run properly?
We will continue running. We don't have, for us, we are not going to do what the normal MCAs are supposed to do. Because I know that is expectation, and they expect us to create a lot of news everywhere in the whole country, that we create news by going to hold each other shirts and all that. Holding and fighting, we are only attracting other legal procedures. This is a court order which must be obeyed. And anybody who will be in contempt issues of the office, there are ways of enforcing an order if the time comes. So we are not up to any type of a fight because that will be stooping so low even before the Republic of Kenya and the office that you are called into.
My name is Michael Gadhanwa, MCA Buru Baruk Ward. Leo, I want to focus on the legal side. I've heard you ask whether there is a court order or something. We have not received any court order. As an assembly, what we do, we are a house of rules and order. We have only received a communication from the Speaker of the House. And the communication was about a court case that he referenced, and he did not even read what it is. And you know that our house does online streaming of our proceedings. You can go there and you can see what the Speaker communicated. The Speaker communicated that there is a case, he read the case number, that was against Fadhili Msuri and others. Those other people, we do not know whether they belong to Nakuru County. Those other people, we do not know whether they are Kenyans. And so when the communication was about a case between Mr. Alex Langat and Fadhili Msuri and others. So that communication, we don't know where it came from. Another thing, the reason we are here also, maybe the executive we have had issues of court orders not being obeyed in Nakuru, but we've never had such a case in the county assembly. What we are now witnessing today is an introduction of a backdoor of legal system, where a party which has 55 members sat down and decided that 3 members out of those, with their signatures, phone numbers, ID numbers, and the faces that you can see, decided that we need a new majority leader. And a mere 20-something, I think 17 members, are not even sure whether they are supporting the old one or they are just somewhere. Some of them, I think, they are not within. That's why you can see the majority leader there. The former majority leader, as you can evidently see, has 3 people behind him. I'm wondering how you can be a majority leader when the majority do not want you. That is that is ironical. So what we are saying here today is, like the whip said, he has just been served. He has just been served by a forward. You know, when you are served on the phone, it means you've been sent, but there is a physical serving that is coming. So we are expecting the process servers anytime, but we received the forward copy at 10, that is at 10:44. But so the communication that you are telling us could not have come, because the Speaker was making a communication at around 9, but we have received a communication at 10:44, unless you are telling me that the Speaker is a time traveler. Thank you so much. If a court order came, a proper court order, we would obey it and respect it. In this case, law, you know, is like a so it cuts both sides. So if a matter has been overtaken by events, you cannot do an injunction or a court order for a matter that has been overtaken by events. What you can do is go and seek redress by putting the matter in court, then challenge it in court, and if you win, then you come resume a seat. So if there is a court order, we are going to serve it. What we are not going to serve is backdoor legal processes.
He claims that there are forces, that external forces,
yes,
that are forcing you to oust him.
Yes, true. There are external forces that are forcing us to oust him, and those are the people and the citizens of Nakuru County who have been complaining of negligence, and who have been complaining that we are being compromised. And the guy who has been compromised is the one that we are kicking out of office. So it is very true, we have external forces of the Wanjikos who are behind us. Another question?
Kwa majina mimi naitwa Karanja wa Mariamu, mimi ni MCA wa Naivasha East. Na pia mimi ni Secretary General wa MCAs wote Kenya. Paka wale wanangoa governor, wale wanangoa CS wote. And ile mambo imefanyika leo ni kwamba sisi kama watu wa UDA, sisi members wa UDA, tulikaa chini kulingana na standing order yetu namba 19. Na tukakaa tukachagua ML mpya kwa sababu tuliona miaka 2 ni Nakuru imefugwa kwa minyororo. Sisi tumekuwa pahala ambapo hatuongei, tumenyogwa hata si kwa kaba, kwa sengege na nyororo. Na hao wawakilishi bunge wakaamua ya kwamba lazima wang'oe yule mtu ambaye ni symbol ya mkoroni. Na unajua hatuwezi kuwa na majority leader ambaye ni robot, mtu marionette, mtu ambaye ni pedestrian kwa ile kazi ambayo amechaguliwa kufanya. Na ndiposa tukasema ya kwamba sisi tunataka kuwa na wana Nakuru. Ile kitu inanishangaza ni kwamba leo tumeambiwa sisi tulifanya uchaguzi last time. Leo tumeambiwa ati kumekuwa na court order of which chama, sisi kama wanachama hatukuwa tunaijua. Ikakuja ikasomwa kama communication ili ati yule alikuwa majority arudishwe kwa ofisi ati by force. Sisi tunaambia na tunajua ya kwamba kumekuwa na mikutano pale Penieli ati ya kurudisha majority leader ikiongozwa na CS. Sasa sisi tunasema hivi, executive haiwezi kuambia assembly vile itafanya. Wasome katiba. Assembly comes first, then the executive second. Na sijawahi kuona pahali ambapo sisi tunatakikana kufanya kazi ya oversight, alafu yule anakusaidia kwa kesi ni executive ambayo inatakikana oversight. And that's why tunashindwa ya kwamba why is it that there is a lot of force kuleta Langat kwa kiti. Mimi nilikuwa majority leader, nikang'olewa wakati wali, mlinisikia kwa koti, kwa sababu wale watu wamekuchagua wakikwambia hawakutaki, si unaenda kusavu watu wako. Wakati wa majority leader wa kwanza ambaye alikuwa ametoka Moso aliyeng'olewa na Waithoki, pia kulikuwa na hiyo. Sisi na sisi tumeng'oa huyu kwa sababu you cannot do oversight and yet you are sleeping with the same corrupt fellas. That one we cannot agree. Therefore, what we are saying is simple, that the majority leader of Nakuru County Assembly ni Mutai. Na sisi tumechaguana na chama ijue ya kwamba majority leader ni nani? Ni Mutai. Na hiyo nafikiria imepitwa na wakati. The other thing ni kwamba watu wanataka kurudisha huyu kwa sababu umesikia kwamba hapa kulikuwa na motion ambayo ilikuwa ya CS sometimes back ikauawa. Hii motion unasikia ya kwamba hii sheria unasikia ya variation ililetwa hivi through majority ikapita. So vile tunasema ni hivi, tunataka sisi kufanya vile watu wa Nakuru wanasema na si vile watu wachache wanafanya nini? Wanasema. Na diposa sisi tumesimama na raia. Na raia tutahakikisha ya kwamba yale mambo bovu ambayo yanafanyika, yule mtu ambaye anashukiwa kwa ukora yoyote yule, mlisikia kuhusu kiti. Unaona? Ile kiti ya 650 inauzwa 18. Ile mambo ambayo umesikia ya sports, ile mambo ambayo umesikia kwa agriculture ya kusupply paredo. Sasa watu ambao wanaleta shida ni kwa sababu they are fearing they will gonna be exposed. And that's why the assemblies are there. Assemblies are there to do oversight, and you cannot do oversight if you have somebody who is not aware of what he is supposed to do. Na sisi hatuna ubaya na majority leader. In actual sense, tunampenda sana majority yule alikuwa former majority wa Musop, na kwa sababu yeye ni daktari. Lakini kuna pahali inafika unaona ya kwamba hafanyi ile kazi inatakikana. Na diposa hawa majority leader ambaye yuko tumemchagua sisi na tutahakikisha ya kwamba tumemlinda. Na tunamwambia ya kwamba yeye akae. Wakati kesi itasuluhishwa kwa party, si kwa assembly. Mambo ya assembly ilisha kitambo when the communication was done. Any other thing is pedestrian to this assembly, it ought to be done by the party and the tribunal. Kwa hivyo you cannot force somebody aje hapa ati umesema ati akalie kwa nguvu. Na ndiposa tunasema ya kwamba sisi kama wana UDA tumeamua. Umemwona hapo na watu watatu. Hao wengine walikuwa wa UDA, wa ODM. Sisi tuko hao wote ni paid up members. Anaenda kutafuta watu wengine. Sisi ndio serikali. Sisi tunajua kwamba chama ni kimoja, UDA. Sisi tunajua ya kwamba serikali ni sisi hapa Nakuru. Na sisi ndio tunafanya mambo kama majority wa hii county assembly. Any other issue is tunasema ya kwamba any other thing ni pedestrian to the issues that are befalling on our assembly. Miswada mingi hapa ilikatwa shingo ikabakia mkia, na unajua ikiwa na mkia iweze enda pahali. So hapa tunasema ya kwamba sasa hii assembly imepata mwanga, na kupata mwanga ni through our members. Tulikuwa tunaleta nini hapa, inapelekwa hivi, inapelekwa vile, unasikia zingine hata zimekufa. Na that's why tunasema ya kwamba tunataka kuamsha hiyo mijadala yote ambayo ilianguka na ile ambayo ililetwa kwa njia ambayo si halali. Hiyo tunairudia, tunaifanya marekebisho amendment, na ile ambayo haitakikani tunaitoa.